Hi, welcome to our final live for today. This is only day one of our virtual open weekend, so we will be coming back tomorrow with lots more lives. So if you still wanted to have any private appointments, just let us know and we can fit you in for tomorrow, it's not a problem. We had a few people who wanted to join us for private tours but sadly was unable to today. So what we thought we'd do is to finish off our virtual open weekend is I'll give you a little tour around the reception rooms of Glenfall House downstairs. So let's start. So we're in our reception hall today to start with, and the reason being is because I just wanted to point out to you this lovely magic mirror that's actually been made for us here at Glenfall that's in our reception hall. So at the moment you can see that we're planning, we're showing a presentation on there, so that's something that couples can do if you wanted to put your own photos on, if you wanted to put a message to your guests, you can use it for anything like that. We'll also display your legal notice on the magic mirror to start with, but once that part's done, you can pop whatever you want on there. And if you don't want anything, it's a nice mirror. So it's nice to greet your guests if you need to come in from the rain and have a little look around. So this is the other part of our reception hall, and what you'll see at the moment is, especially the staircase, is filled with lots of our lovely little extras. So here at Glenfall we think that, as easy as it should be for you, if we can include it into the package cost and it's all there and we haven't got to spend too much money elsewhere. And we have lots of decorations such as lanterns, signs, fish bowls. There's loads. There's I think it's like a 40-page document or something for you to look through when you book with us. But they're all included for you, and as you can see, especially now in winter and the sun's starting to go down a little bit, it's really effective. And it doesn't cost a lot either, just the candles. So we're heading into the first of our rooms, which is our Albright Lounge. So this room is probably more popular when it's winter and things like that for a calmer, quieter, chill out room. So if you've got any adult guests who maybe don't want to be in the main ballroom with all the music going on, then you can find that they can come into the Albright Lounge, and actually it can be a different, quieter room in here. Now, all of the rooms at Glenfall, I know Kat mentioned it earlier, Kat's on film, hey Kat, mentioned it to you earlier, actually all of our rooms back out onto the gardens. So it's really lovely. So even if you're planning a winter wedding and the weather isn't as nice and you can't actually get out to enjoy them, as you can see, you can still see them from inside the building. So lovely. And then of course, summer or spring weddings, when the weather is nice, it means you can get in and out really quickly. The Albright room also makes a really good children's room. So if you're planning on having lots of children at your wedding and you think there's just somewhere for them where you can put Lego, toys, games, puzzles, anything to keep them entertained, then this is the room we recommend you do it in. So it works really nicely for them. You can keep them, I won't use the term locked away until later on in the afternoon. Keep them confined, I think is a nicer way of putting it. So we'll head now into the Glen. Now the Glen is our main indoor ceremony room. So it can seat up to 80 people. So it's really lovely if you're looking for a nice indoor ceremony location. But again, you've still got the views of the gardens. So as we're going around, I'll start pointing out some of our supplier things for you as well. So the lovely Hayley from Decorative Details has dressed some of the chairs for us. So these are extra if you wanted the chair birds, and as you can see, this colour goes really lovely in here in the Glen. The Chivalry chairs are already included. And then on the left, once again, we've just used a couple of our lovely little extras that are all included for you. And as you can see, daffodils that are out at this time of year, they look gorgeous and it's really effective. We've also got our own little name tags here as well for you if you wanted to. Anna has lovely writing, so has volunteered herself to write most of them for us, but of course you can write them yourselves as well. So this is why we love the Glen, because you get to have the warmth of inside, but you get that gorgeous view outside. And whether you choose to get married in the Glen or you have an outdoor ceremony, this is our ceremony table. And you might notice the theme of Glenfall is all very much wood and glass. It's really gorgeous. And again, we've simply just decorated it with a couple of milk bottles, but our recommended florist, Jackie from Bluebell Wood, she has actually included a package with all sorts of flowers and things in there for you, and the ceremony table is included. What we have over on our right is one of our other favoured suppliers here. So it's Julia Hawkes Independent Celebrants. So Especially nowadays, I think it's becoming more and more popular and certainly more well known that there's more than one way to have a wedding nowadays. It isn't just a civil ceremony. You can actually have a very personalised, very bespoke ceremony, and that's what Julia does here with us. And it's lovely because obviously you're not confined to the same rooms that are legal. You can have it anywhere in the grounds. I know Julia has a tree that she finds particularly beautiful for ceremonies here. So this is here, we've got lots of information from Julia, and that's here with us, and there's also some, she has actually like an information box that we're here, so if you're ever here and you're not sure, and you'd like a little bit more information about Julia, then yeah, we can obviously show you all around that. We'll head back out into the reception hall. I'll hold the door while you can. See you speeding up there. So in winter especially, the reception hall you'll find is mainly where you have your drinks reception. It's where your guests are going to arrive to. It is licensed for ceremonies. If you decided you wanted a civil ceremony in here, we had a lovely bride make a grand entrance down the staircase, and everybody had the ceremony down the bottom. But you know, again, we're quite flexible here, so we just advise you what you can do with the spaces, but what you choose to do is actually entirely up to you. So yeah, we're going to go through, and we've got a couple more supplies that I've touched on briefly, but we've got Nikki Kirk, photographer, Anna.
Make an entrance just like this, there you go.
Anna's been having planning meetings upstairs out the way today. That's one done.
I've got one more.
One more. So yeah, so this is Nikki Kirk. Nikki Kirk is our professional partner here. I mentioned her earlier on as well, but she's been with Glenfall from the very start. As you can see, multi-award winning, really knows Glenfall, really does do a lot here with us. Generation events. So Generation events do lives, they do bouncy castles, there are DJs, so a huge variety. If you've ever seen our Talk Tuesdays, we've spoke to Hayley quite a few times on them. You can find them back through on our Facebook page, but I mean, they really do cover a lot. So they're, yeah, I'll go to for your DJs, your bouncy castles, and anything like that. Now, whetstones. Whetstones are Anna's popular choice, actually, where Anna got her engagement ring from, and they're who we recommend for your wedding rings and jewellery, your engagement rings, because they're just so knowledgeable and so helpful. So Leon, who's over at the showroom in Evesham, they've done a really good new website where they've got a whole guide on there about diamonds and things like that. So if you're not sure about anything, they're really friendly. You can go and have a look through. And also, if you come to Glenfall, there's a goodie bag which we all particularly love, obviously, because it's pink, diamond rings included. Not real diamonds, but you know, the thought's there. So we'll head to our next room now, which is the library bar. So I think the piece of resistance about the library bar is always actually the bar. Now you'll see we've got huge selections of gins, whiskies, wines, cigar bar, which the grooms tend to enjoy. And we're not actually tied to any brewing here at Glenfall, so if there's a particular drink that you know your wedding party are going to enjoy, or that you really want to make sure we've got in, then you can just speak to your wedding coordinator. It's not a problem at all. The other thing I wanted to point out in here is our jukebox. Now, at the moment it's not on, but if you're familiar with Sonos at all, then we've got Sonos across the whole of Glenfall House. Now, what that actually means is you can put different playlists on in different rooms at the same time. So if you wanted some old school jazz in the bar, I think it has that kind of vibe in here, then you can have that. If you want Peppa Pig in the kids' room next door, you can have Peppa Pig on repeat, it's no problem. So it just means that you can pick the music that you want in each room, so you can kind of tailor the rooms to the atmosphere. If you don't fancy going through and making your own playlist, again, you can just say to your wedding coordinator a genre, or, you know, don't play this, or you can just have everything all the same as you go through, it's no problem. So we're coming to a few more of our recommended partners here now as well. So the first one is we've got Pia from the Vanilla Pop Bakery. Pia does stunning luxury cakes. Here's a dummy cake that she's left here with us, and I know that stems from paper to do a little display on it, which is obviously really cute because you can keep it instead of having fresh flowers. So Pia is doing cake boxes at the moment, so if you're not sure about actually being able to get to a supplier and you fancy trying some cake, I know Anna's utilised the cake boxes, it's a really good idea. And then these lovely light up letters, and you'll see that Major Entertainments do a really good light it up special package with us in our supplier special offer booklet. And they're just really effective, and they look lovely here in front of the piano. So this is A&S, obviously you would have your initials, but you can have them wherever. And there's things like festoon lighting for outside, uplighters, which you're going to see in the ballroom now. As your luxury wedding cars, so David has been with us, he's one of our professional partners, he's worked with us Glenfall from the start. So if you're potentially getting married at a church or somewhere else and you need that luxury transport, you know, it's professional, reliable, you don't want your car not turning up, then we highly recommend David. This has been turned for some reason. I know what it is, it's Major Entertainment, so we've already covered it. I think we had to move them to get outside earlier. No, I see what's gone on here. It's not going to stay up. So to be continued on fixing that, but Major Entertainments, everybody. Come on through, we'll find one of the other rooms. So we're going to head into the morning room. Now this room, it isn't actually one of the rooms you'll probably be in for most of the day, but it's a really important room. So if you decide to have a civil ceremony, or if you have a celebrant-led ceremony, you know, you may want to meet with the celebrant before, but certainly if you have a civil ceremony, you have to meet with the person officiating it before. It's hard, you know, I'm talking for a long time. So you have to come in here and you sit down, and usually the groom goes in first, followed by the bride, or you can go in together. But it's just where you'll go through the legal paperwork, basically. So once the official part's done in this room, this becomes a really fun evening room we find most of the time. So you can see this gorgeous big table in the centre of the room. At the moment we've laced it with a big variety of our lovely little extras, so you can see in the sample of what we can offer. But we find this room becomes a really popular cheese room or sweet room of an evening. So we've got bowls, which I think you may have been able to see at the back over there, again with the wood, which all matches the wood and the glass of Glenfall. And you can fill them with different cheeses, different sweets, and it looks really lovely and really effective, all set up on the round table. Most importantly, it's close enough to the dancing that people can come in here for the snacks and then go back out there. And then this is just one of the post boxes that we've got here on site. There is two, so it just depends on personal preference, and obviously the girls will make you a personalised sign, or you can make your own. So we'll head into the last reception room that I'm going to show you inside. Obviously Glenfall's very versatile, and we attempted to show you outside earlier. Maybe tomorrow the weather will be nicer and we can get outside again. But for now, this is our ballroom. So this is our biggest inside space in the main house. We've got the hayloft across the courtyard, but for now we'll just show you the main house. So this can seat up to 80 for a wedding breakfast. And it can hold more for a ceremony, so you can have 100 in here for your civil ceremony or celebrant ceremony. At the moment we've set it up in what we refer to as our polo shape for the intimate weddings, just so you can see how they're happening. But we can have all rounds, we can have two long tables, we can have a mixture of rounds and longs. So what happens is the girls will say, right, this is your numbers, these are the table plans that work. So you can actually pick and work with them to decide what you would like. Sometimes the top table's set up along this back wall here, so that you get the lovely views, which are gorgeous, as you can imagine. No matter what the day, it's nice to look out at the views, isn't it? Or you can have the top table at either end. So it's entirely up to you. And again, we just, you know, very quickly decorated this with some of our lovely little extras for you. And some greenery, which has been really effective. Now, this is also where the dancing happens of an evening. So usually after you've came in for your wedding breakfast, if you're inside, you can have your wedding breakfast outside, al fresco, if that's what you prefer, and the weather's nicer than today. But yeah, once you have sort of finished with the wedding breakfast, we then usually typically need about an hour to just get into here to turn the room around for you. And that's the same at any venue. It's just when the DJ will arrive to set up, or your band. So we usually set the DJ and the band over in that corner because it's a bit bigger over there. And then we like to leave as much of the ballroom as possible as dance floor, which means then you just find you might want a couple of tables right at the back here, just so that if you've got any guests that want to take a seat during the evening, they can. They can go and they can sit, but they're still here and they're still enjoying the atmosphere. Again, as with all the rooms, it opens out onto the patio, which means if it's a really lovely summer's evening or it's a really nice spring evening, you can still get in and out quite easily. So the only thing I want to point out in here is that Major Entertainments have very lovely left us some uplighters. So this isn't standard in the rooms, but they're a really nice additional extra to just add a little bit of colour to the ballroom, especially for the evening if you wanted to. So we've got them on a mix of, I want to say purple, white, and blue. Different colours, mix of colours, intentional. And obviously we haven't put them in and sellotape everything down because it's only staff on site today. When Major Entertainments first set these up for us, it looked a lot more presentable than what I managed to do earlier, really quickly. So yeah, obviously they're a lot more, it's all sellotaped down and things, but they look really nice, especially the colours that they set. So, but that's it. Everything else that we've shown you, apart from the things that I've pointed out, are all included. But if you're not sure and you've got any questions, you can email us at inquiries@glenfallhouse.co.uk. If there's something you're seeing and you want to ask your wedding coordinator, then feel free to email Kat or Anna, or just contact us all generally and we'll get back to you. Thank you so much. I'm sorry this was our longest one, but it was the one to finish on. So we've had a really lovely day today and we've really enjoyed showing many of you around Glenfall, and we're really looking forward to tomorrow. So until tomorrow, we shall see you then.